You're listening to WVLP 103.1 Low Power FM in Valparaiso, and it is time for the Northwest Indiana Wrestling Action Program.
Your insubordination will not be tolerated.
And greetings, everybody. I'm Ken the Metal Professor. It's time to talk wrestling. With me in the studio is Joey Boom Boom from ARW Pro.
Bada bing, bada hey, Joey Boom Boom over here.
That's a good introduction. So he was nice enough to bring me some gifts, a couple of ARW Pro t-shirts. And if you were at a large radio station like, ESPN Radio in Chicago, we would have had a gift basket for you or something like that. But what I have for you here is the brand new hot off the presses edition of the NWI Entertainer magazine, which you can pick. It's free. Yeah, everybody gets it for free.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. It's actually a really good magazine. It's really good.
Nice. So in this issue is the 2016 local album review compiled by John King of WVLP.
Excellent.
So thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure. What we're going to do is talk about the promotion and what's been going on and what's going to be going on very, very soon. So you guys had quite a busy 2016.
Yes, we did. Just amazing. For 10 shows a year for the last 5 years. This is not the first time of the ARW Pro coming together. This is kind of the new incarnation for the last 5 years with a couple different owners gathered together. Between us, we've had owners from the RWA, Ringside Wrestling Alliance, and also the NWIWrap at one time. They were the two hottest groups in Northwest Indiana through the mid-'90s through the early 2000s. When everyone started to kind of disband, do their other things with their families, I took the mantle. I was a student of Rex Hart and Rod Bell from NWIWrap and basically learned how to wrestle, then got into promoting, because I really liked the entertainment, liked being the character. So I took over and started, at first, Adrenaline Rush Pro Wrestling. From there, it evolved into Adrenaline Ringside Wrestling, which we are here now. I like to think one of the premier wrestling groups in the area. We do a lot of charities, which is amazing. We've worked with groups such as the Portage Scouts for years, the American Legion for the last 5 years, going on 6 years, Sons of the American Legion, the regular Legionnaires, the Legion Riders, and we're now working with the schools, which is amazing. Lake Station High School, their athletic department, we're working with them. We had a show back this past October to help raise money for the Lake Station wrestlers. We'll be back there again in the March of this year. The biggest one we got to work with this year is Hammond Morton High School, which I'm really excited about, and we're helping out their band department. So it's not just with athletics. We help with a big range of other companies that like to do benefits. Sons of the Legions does everything from giving dinners to a lot of during the holidays to families in need, and they give money to the Veterans Home, and we help the Lady Auxiliary with the same thing. So there's a lot of money that goes out. We raise, a good amount for great causes is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I'm very proud of what we've done, and 2017 actually looks to be a lot bigger than the last couple of years. We're going to be working with the city of Hobart, which I'm excited about. There's a couple other cities we're going to be working with, and working possibly in the Porter County area. So that's one of my biggest areas that I'm looking to expand to. One is the Valparaiso Armory we used to run a long time ago, and the event that is every November for a fallen soldier, the Daniel Chavez Memorial Fund that we do every year. That was my younger brother, and he was the youngest acting NCO at the Valparaiso Armory. So he helped us get back in there, and we're looking to possibly get back into the Armory, which is great.
That's great. And that's the one down on Route 30?
That is correct. Yep. And right now we have 3 venues, which is Hammond Morton. We have the high school, Lake Station High School, the American Legion in Lake Station. We did a lot of work in Hobart at the Elks Club. Soon as the Elks Club finds another building, they're going to have us back on a continuous basis. But right now, we're working with Hobart, and Hobart's very interested in having us, the city actually, for 2 or 3 shows in the year. So I'm really happy with this year. But I'd like to expand to Porter County because I think we have a good product that's family friendly, that can really positively bring a wonderful wrestling movement. Now, don't get me wrong, there are other feds in the area. And it's the workers that are amazing, as always. Love the workers. Everybody has their own flair. Everybody has their own little way of doing things. One thing that we always say is we're often imitated, but never duplicated.
Never duplicated.
Never duplicated, because ARW Pro is a theatrical experience. That's something that we try to do. We want it to be that. I mean, those who see us on Facebook see our videos, see our posters. We have some of the best workers in the area, and we've got new workers that are coming in, which I'm really excited for. A lot more from Chicago region, which love working in Chicago. Some from Wisconsin, some Iowa, Michigan, Kentucky. I got a few from Florida and a couple from California that are coming in. Some new faces and some returning fan favorites. So I think it's this year is going to be really productive. Going to be busy, which I'm excited for. Also, with the Daniel Chavez Memorial show that we do in November, we're also looking in December, which I should find out next 2 months or so. We're going to be also helping out Toys for Tots.
Nice.
So I'm really excited because at one point in time, I was one of those Toys for Tot kids. So it kind of gives my age away, especially when here. And this is why I say that is because when the steel mills went under, my father worked at the steel mill. And we had a really rough Christmas one time. And waking up and a little special gift from Santa was hitting there from us. And it was really nice. So it's I'm trying to give back as much as I can. I've been blessed, and I want to give back as much as I possibly can.
And being a region native, it's got to be pretty satisfying to be able to still do that here.
Oh yes, it's amazing. I mean, I could have went anywhere. I could have worked anywhere. I've done a lot of work down in Indianapolis, area, a couple places in Illinois, but I'm always here. My heart's here. I'm a region guy. Always have been. I've traveled from the East Coast, West Coast, went south, went north, but it's the region. It is. It's Chicago. It's the region. We're hardy here. We're strong people, and we have our ups and downs, but to see, for me, going back into wrestling, to see the faces of the kids, to see the faces of the young adults. We are the heroes. We are the villains for them. We are, because I'm a comic book geek. I'm a sci-fi geek. I'm all that.
I wouldn't have guessed with the Batman shirt there.
I know. I'm the product of Dungeons and Dragons. I am.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I am that guy. Warhammer, all of it. Just loved it. And
GURPS.
yes. Palladium. I love all of it. And we get to be the heroes and the villains. We get to, on the grandest stage of all, we get to bring our product. And that's one thing I try to explain to a lot of people. It's like, we do this for you. We want you to enjoy yourself. Of course, don't try this at home. Like anything else, you have to be trained. Playing football, tennis, soccer, track, you have to learn to do it. And that's what we do. And that's what I tell a lot of kids. I've gone to many schools and just talked to a lot of kids. Hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you do. Calm down. As you get older, then you can learn how to do this. It's like anything else. But it is wonderful to just give back as much as we can. And we've been truly blessed. I mean, I was asked to be here, and I feel very honored. So again, I'm going to thank you
Oh, sure.
very
No,
much.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh yeah, and so how about this? If you don't mind, I will let you know just a little bit about me when I started.
Sure.
I started back in '99. Okay. And
Last century.
I know. I was always a huge wrestling fan. I used to watch my uncle, some tapes of my Uncle Ray. He was Chief Lone Eagle out of Hammond. Okay, I have relations to him. And I used to watch him. And I got to meet Ric Flair. I got to meet all these people. My grandmother, who was 101 when she passed away, huge wrestling fan. In fact, her claim to fame was when she hit Bobby Heenan with her purse. And she would tell us every Christmas about it. It was amazing. My mom and dad, their first date was actually to a wrestling event at the Hammond Civic Center because they were both just huge wrestling fans. So me and my brother grew up just huge wrestling fans. Of course, we would wrestle. Of course, we would do things. We didn't hit each other with chairs or anything else, but we were more into the technical aspect. You know, a Malenko, a Benoit type thing. I know he's not supposed to be named, but I'm going to name him anyway. A Bret Hart. We just loved that, you know. Larry Zbyszko was just amazing how he would act and how he do things. Ronnie Garvin. I can go through all, you know, the old wrestlers. And even the new wrestlers now, some of the guys now. And there's a lot of people who get mad over the wrestling. And I kind of look, you have to see where you've been to know how you move forward. Times change. We don't just have McDonald's. We just don't have just Burger King. You know, we got Bob's Burgers. We've got, you know, Judy's Cafe. We've got this, we got that. It evolves. Evolve with it, you know. It's nice to be in the past and see in the past and even bring a little bit of that flair from the past and mix it up with the new. But you can't just disregard all that's going on now because, you know, that's what everybody's seeing. And when I started, they would ask me, oh, so who's your favorite guy right now? You know, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. I'm like, yeah, but I love, you know, Dean Malenko. And they're like, Dean Malenko? I said, yeah, Larry Zbyszko. The guy was amazing. Are you kidding me? And then they were like, oh, okay. So who do you fashion yourself at? I said, well, let me see. I'm 5'3.5". I'm a short little stocky guy. Who would I be? Well, it's not going to be Andre. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Hulk Hogan. I said, I might as well be, you know, anybody who's short. I said, from what I understand, Rey Mysterio's not that tall. You know, here we go. And I used to do some of the high flying and used to. I got older, but I still have good knees and a good back. So, you know, no big deal. So as I'm doing all my training through Rod Bell and Rex Hart, I have other trainers that help me out, Kenny Courageous, Devon Fury, Guy Quebec, P.T. Hustler, just an array, Jackknife, God rest his soul, and Bane, God rest his soul, two of my really close friends that passed on. Just amazing individuals. And I got to work with some great people. And when most of the big players in the area kind of disbanded, there was a gap. And at the time in Chicago, there was, of course, Windy Cindy with Sam. Amazing guy. There was the LWF in Illinois. Not too much else around in this area. There was Basher. That was WCWO. I can't remember what he was called at the time, but there was like WCWO. That's Basher was down south. I'd go wrestle for him, or I'd go wrestle here and there. But the one thing is I wanted to do was there was another group that I'm not going to name, just out of respect for them. They had a decent product, but a lot of their guys were getting hurt. And this is what I was really worried about. So I started a school, and I started getting the people who trained me to help train them. I wanted to have an area where guys can go and work and not get hurt, get trained properly so they don't hurt people, and they didn't get hurt themselves. And it worked for a little while. Not gonna lie, it worked for a little while. What I mean by it worked for a little while, I had the school going. It was good. One of my old trainers came and helped, and he's been in and out of the picture off and on when he can, you know, just taking care of his family and everything else, like anything else, you know. And as we move forward, I said, I need to start running a promotion. I need to get these group of guys, like-minded people together. ARW was born. It was born out of, to a certain point, necessity, not necessarily ego, because I try not to have an ego. I think that's one of the biggest killers here. I mean, you have to be confident. There's a difference between confidence and cocky, as we know. Joey Boom Boom, of course, comes out, hey, he's cocky. That's right. I'm 7'2", you know, screaming steel and sex appeal. That's me. But when I'm out there, it's amazing, and I wanted everybody to feel that. All the people who worked under us, all the people we trained, I wanted to feel that. I wanted to feel that fire, that excitement. And that's when I started doing things a little differently, trying to make it a theatrical event. Some of our videos are that way. There's a lot of videos that you see, promo videos, and don't get me wrong, they're good. I'm not saying ours are the best. Ours are different, because a lot of them you get Sunday, that's right. And you're like, okay, is it a tractor pull? Is it wrestling? Or is it a fair? You know, with mine, there really isn't any words. It's a theatrical opening, like you would see off a movie. And if you look at a lot of it, you know, some of it's more based off of horror movies and or comic books. I mean, plain and simple. That's how I put mine. I want them to be a theatrical event. I want to pull them in because I want you to see these people. I want you to want to see these people. That's why we try to rotate a lot of our guys in and out. We get some of our best people in our area, as in wrestlers, to come and work. Is there any questions you have for me? Because if not, trust me, I can keep going until midnight. We don't want to do that.
Well, since you brought up the wrestlers and the performers, let's talk about kind of who the high profile folks are.
Excellent.
Coming out of last year and going into this year. So the ARW champion right now is Mr. 3%. John Hudson.
Yes, a very good friend of mine. And for those who don't know, his father is actually very famous because he is one of the brothers of the Hudson brothers singers, and he's a cousin to Kate Hudson and and he can go and drop a bunch of number of names, which is amazing. And to see Christmas pictures of him and his family, and you're like, I seen them in a movie 2 weeks ago. I know that person. I said, hey, can I be a waiter at one of your events? That'd be great, dude. Yes, Mr. John Hudson. Right now, I think he is scheduled to wrestle Mr. Marcelo Spade, which will be very exciting. We have our tag team champions, the Picture Show, Johnny Showtime, Marcus Portrait, versus the Storms, the newcomers, Theo and Kevin Storm. They were both in the Lionheart division, and the Storm brothers have decided to take on the tag team champs, which I'm really excited about that too. One of the biggest ones that just coming back from a little hiatus is Mr. Colin Cambridge. Amazing worker. And with the manager, the man, the Moretti agency, Chaz Moretti. I've seen this guy all over the place. I mean, not just the Midwest, everywhere, Vegas. He always walks in with champions. And if whoever he's with, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. Whoever's with him in his agency, if they don't have a belt, it's only a matter of time. And when I mean a matter of time, I'm talking within 90 days. This guy is amazing. I don't know where he gets his trainers. I don't know what he does, but he really focuses these wrestlers, and they just go for that gold. And I'm, just amazed and really proud of Colin Cambridge. And
he's the Indiana State champion right now,
That is
right?
correct. And he's got his hands full because the Scumbag Army is coming for that title. Mad Max Holiday. Now, that guy, I tell you right now, he is the bruiser, of the Midwest. This guy is amazing. This guy is insane.
He's large.
Yes, he is. Well, I mean, to me, everybody is, no matter what. Then we have kind of a feud that was going on from our last tag team champions, Los Supervillanos, Dante Devious, and Superbad Santana Starks, not seeing eye to eye and not listening to their manager, King Bishop.
Yeah.
So that's one.
They weren't getting along.
Not at all. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to hug it out or if they're actually just going to go, as they would say, fisticuffs, or they're just going to beat the holy tar out of themselves. Next is a nice one. Kevin Graves, our ex-Indiana State champion, versus Angel Armani. Then we have one of our favorite pirates, Johnny Swashbuckle, versus
Dashing Dick Davis.
Dick Davis, which is another just amazing talent. Not to leave out the Punisher 747 coming back with the BOW, Brutus Owen Wesker, versus the Family. I am a little torn on this one, and I'm going to tell you why. I have a new respect for Ivan Manson because he beat the tar out of me. He beat me good, but he did show me respect. But family's family, and family's going to get whatever they want, plain and simple. And what I mean by that, they're going to beat, they're going to steal, they're going to cheat, they're going to do every way possible to get back those tag team belts sometime. I've known that, and they've made it known to me. So he told me, you got my respect, don't look for it again, because I'm not going to give it to you. No quarter going to be given, none wanted. So I'm really hoping the Punisher and Bow really take these guys and put them through the wall. Sorry, put them through the ground.
That was an interesting development during that last show, because as I'd watched several ARW shows before that, you and the Family had gone back and forth quite a bit, and at the end of that match, there was a little looking eye to eye and a little mutual respect going on there, and I didn't know where it was going to go.
I didn't either. Actually, I pretty much figured that these guys were just going to put the boots to me, but I guess I earned the respect, which was not an easy thing to do. I mean, this is Ivan Manson. This is a Windy City wrestler. This is a guy who's wrestled everywhere. This is part of the Nomad Mansons. And now with Charlie, he is just totally focused. Him and Mike Anthony. And plus, Dylan Manson. I mean, look at that monster. You know, I mean, nothing to take away from their young protege, Rack. You know, Rancid Rack. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. That is one force that people don't understand. To leave them, you have to keep them in check. To just allow them to do whatever they want, that's a poison. Like the NWO was to WWE or WWF at the time, WCW. They're a poison that nobody is watching, especially Mark White, and that's a whole different story on that one with me and Mr. Mark White. So
Mr. White is a minority owner?
That is correct. At one point, he had bought the company from underneath me. I was going through some family issues. And so what he did is he decided to buy up certain stocks, buy up certain shares, and talk to certain shareholders. And next thing I know is I own 20% and he owns 80%. But in contracts, I couldn't be fired, which was a great thing. Then we had another gentleman by the name of Nevada Slick, who was Northwest Indiana icon, bought back most of those shares, handed them over to me, which was great. So now, with everything being, I guess you can say, on my end of it anyway, peachy keen, we have come to some mutual understanding, me and Mr. White, which is great, although he still feels that any time the family can do what they want. That and now Mr. Moretti, although I have a lot of respect for Mr. Moretti and his agency, him and Mr. White are really bumping elbows here, you know, Dom Perignon, the whole limo rides, everything. So I know that no good's going to come of that. So
they seem to be instigators.
Yes, unfortunately. But again, Mr. White is a partner, so I have to deal with him. And that's what we got to do. But that's a lovely thing we call wrestling.
Right. Now, so you have John Hudson is champ. The tag champs are the Picture Show. Colin Cambridge is the Indiana State champ. And you crowned a Lionheart division trophy winner champion. Is this a continuing thing, or is it going to be a sporadic event?
It will be a sporadic event. Our next incarnation of the Lionheart division. Now, when we say Lionheart, these are people who are, not saying that all our wrestlers aren't hungry, but these are people who are new wrestlers to ARW Pro. The next incarnation of this will be a tag team division, which we're really excited about that because we're going to get area tag teams from different feds, from different areas, and we're bringing them in. They're going to wrestle off, and the winners will go against our tag team champions at that time. We will start this probably, if I'm not mistaken, was in May or July, and they will end up wrestling at the Daniel Chavez Memorial Show in November against the tag champs. And if it's a picture show, they're going against a picture show. If it's not, they'll go whoever is against that. But it's tag teams that we haven't seen. So that's what I'm really excited about. But I believe that Mr. White has already thrown the Storms in that one already, of course, because why wouldn't he? So I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't reach out to a few wrestlers I know and bring them in just to, not that Picture Show can't handle the Storms. And don't get me wrong, Kevin and Theo, they're great athletes. But I actually have a couple teams I would like to bring in. So that's something that I'll be speaking with Mr. White about.
Now, do you worry about new attitudes developing in the Storm Brothers?
Yes, I do, actually. Kevin's always been a great aggressive wrestler, okay, very to the point. Theo has a lot of change in him, and we've noticed this. His aggression has been off the charts. His anger, I don't know if it's because of age or he feels that he should be getting more. I know he was very upset about not winning the Lionheart Trophy. Dakota Prodigy was amazing, and he was the comeback kid, and that was something that I liked because I saw a lot of myself in him. And what I mean by that is because I was that guy, that 5'3.5", he's going to go nowhere. He's not going to do anything. And I worked my butt off. I did everything possible. I faced everybody. I faced guys that were 3 times my size, 3 times my weight, 3 times my years and experience, and came out on top. And I saw that in Dakota Prodigy, but I also saw that in Rancid Rack. What I saw in Kevin and Theo was more of a just jaded anger. It was chaotic. And with Mr. White, who knows? Maybe they'll find their correct direction. We'll see, though.
See if he can channel that a little bit.
Maybe, because they are great wrestlers. They are. But being with Mr. White, I don't know. I can't say I condone that.
Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on him. Yeah. So the matches coming up that you were giving the rundown for,
yes,
that's going to be next Saturday night, January 14th at the American Legion in Lake Station.
Yep, 1899 Central Avenue. That is post 100 in Lake Station, Indiana.
And from that point on, you have about one show a month?
That is correct. It's basically every 30 days. The next show will be at the Hammond Morton High School, and that will be up on our Facebook account. Then we'll be back in Lake Station at the Lake Station Edison High School. Morton will be for the band department. That's the fundraiser for Lake Station. That will be for the athletic department. And then in April, we will be back at the American Legion, and also for May. And then, of course, we have July and so on and so forth, but from January to May is our focal point. I don't like to go more than 6 months, focus, more than 6 months.
Sure. So you mentioned, I think you mentioned before, Facebook. So if people want to keep up with the calendar, they want the news, what are the different ways on social media that people can tune in and keep up?
One, of course, is Joey Boom Boom on Facebook. You can go to arwpro.com on Facebook, and there's our Facebook page. You also see different posters and flyers around the area of Lake County, and of course now branching out to Porter County. That's always a great thing. And right now on social media, I'm also on ARW Pro Live on YouTube and ARW Pro Live on Instagram. And we have our posters and such and updates off and on all the time.
Okay, great. So we're just about out of time here. We're going to turn it over to Punk Rock Radio. That's the show that's coming up next. So if you tune in on your way home and you're driving out of town, before that signal fades, you can get yourself excited.
You got it.
Last question.
Yes.
What is your favorite thing about what you do?
What is the favorite thing about what I do? Is entertaining the fans. They get to go home. They get to stop and worry about the bills. They get to stop and worry what happened at work or what happened at school. They don't have to worry about chores. They don't have to worry about, I got to wake up at 6 in the morning on Monday because their show's on Saturday. We get to let them forget reality for a little while and enjoy a theatrical, just excitement show whatever you want to do, just the entertainment. We let people just relax and get to enjoy their lives from time to time. We all need that, you know, whether it's looking at a sunset, eating an Eskimo pie, having a coffee, you know, whatever that makes you happy. But we get to bring them something that, and they get to see, and we get to showcase our abilities and who we are. I think that's what it is entertaining the people, is making them happy. You know, I know that sounds kind of corny, sounds kind of weird, but that's
Not at
for
all.
me. Yeah, for me, it is. It's that smile from those kids. It's a smile from the adults.
And that's the magic of wrestling that people that say they don't like it don't get.
That's correct. 100%.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming into the
Thank
studio,
you.
Mr. Joey Boom Boom from ARW Pro. Open invitation if you ever want to come back and promote
love
some
to.
new shows
Yes.
later in the year.
I would
whatever
love
we
to.
can work out.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for coming in. Everybody out there, stick around for Punk Rock Radio here on WVLP.